Hey lunatics, Emma Luna here, and as promised, here is a special introduction to Mr. Luna. Hello.
Am I allowed to give my first name?
You can tell them whatever you want.
Hello, I am Jamie, Mr. Luna.
So we are doing my Saturday takeover questions. So Mr. Luna is going to be our host and read out your questions for me.
Hopefully I don't butcher them too badly, but here we go. Right, Emma Luna. How many beautiful, brutal... Oh, hold on, I've messed that up already. How many beautifully brutal books do you have planned? I'm eagerly awaiting Mia and Keelan's story.
So first of all, when I write a story, whenever I'm coming up with a title, I always brainstorm it with Jamie. And we came up with the name Beautifully Brutal because it fits so well with these gorgeous, strong women. But it became very obvious very quickly that it's a bit of a tongue teaser, and so many times have we got that wrong. So, but by that point, I'd already put it live on Amazon. So
I had one job not to mess that up.
I apologise for the tongue tie. How many books have I got planned? Well, I think possibly about 7. So there's definitely going to be Kellen and Mia's story next. And as for the order of the others, it's still a little bit up in the air, but there definitely will be all of the Doherty clan. So you will get to see all your favourites. So there is obviously Kellen and Mia next. There's going to be Finn, Evan, Riley and Freya. They're all going to get their stories. So obviously... you've got Evan is going to be with Tegan, Finn, Finn.
No pressure.
I know. I write these characters and then I struggle to remember their names. So Freya is going to be with Kian, the new guy who's come over to help Bree run the family, and then Riley is going to end up with our favourite from book 1, Vinny or Shane.
We haven't got many questions, Emma.
Sorry, carry on. Next one.
I
am a little bit of a talker. I don't know if you've seen that by the thickness of my books.
So was the answer 7?
Yes.
There we go. The answer's 7. That's what you had to say.
Unless I throw in another.
Right, so will Bree and Liam have another book?
This is still up in the air. So Bree and Liam are obviously going to feature quite heavily throughout the other books. And I'm still throwing together whether I want Bree and Liam. My plan was to keep them all as individual standalones, but I think because of the direction that the story's going, there will have to be a bit of a crossover probably in the final book. So you might find the final book has got more than just like 2 people's point of views in it. But don't hold me to that, and I'll keep you updated as and when I write them.
Right, so how did Desmond end up as crazy as he did?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. They just have their own personalities, and they just come out and do the most stupid things and the most crazy things, and I just kind of roll with it. So yeah. Desmond was always going to be a little bit crazy. He was always going to be a psychopath. That's kind of how I wrote him. So he has abused his children all their lives, and he wants this power, but then he meets Bree, who is somebody that he can't even comprehend. The idea of a woman being in power, he can't comprehend, and he's completely flown by her. But I think there might come a day when he decides that he wants the power all for himself. So we'll see. But yeah, he was always meant to be crazy.
Right, so this one, they want to know your favourite part of writing.
Letting the characters just run free. I love just kind of sitting there and coming up with all the different characters and concepts and giving them all the life. Like, I feel like it justifies the voices in my head. I feel like it, just that actual part, like trying to focus them is the hard part. because I have all these ideas. Like you can't even believe the amount of notebooks that I have dotted around. It drives Jamie absolutely crazy.
Hold on. Hold on.
I hid them from the video for this exact purpose. But there is a lot of that is just next year's planning. That's just the 1 year's worth of planning. But yeah, so I have all these ideas and I'm just trying to streamline them. Yeah.
Very nice. So, which character is most like you?
I have absolutely no idea. When I write, I do try and put little bits of not just myself, but people who matter to me. So there's little bits of me and little bits of everybody dotted around. But yeah, I would say that I'm quite a feisty girl. So maybe there's bits of me in there. There's obviously the anxiety and the introvert part of me that doesn't shine. But I think Bree's got a little bit of that in there. And I know Ava from Broken, she has got a little bit of a reservedness about her that I guess comes from me. But yeah, I don't exactly want to put all of me on a page because that's not entertaining. But yeah, I think there's little bits of everybody in the books.
Very nice. So, do you plot your books out beforehand?
Okay, so when I wrote Broken, no. It was all just completely freestyle, I just sat down and wrote. I didn't know if I would ever really publish it. I just kind of sat down and let it flow. And I think that's, if I'm being honest, I think that's why I've struggled writing book 2, because I didn't plan it. I didn't think of what I was going to do. I've got a rough idea, but actually now getting it onto paper is a lot more difficult. I am going to do it, don't worry, it is coming. And, bit of a spoiler alert here, but it's going to be called Redemption. And it will be coming very soon. But yeah, I think because I didn't plan that one's been a bit more difficult. So I have kind of learnt from that. I wouldn't say like I plan chapter by chapter, because that's just not me. And even if I did, my characters would just blow that out of the water. But I would say I have a good idea on what's going to happen at the beginning. I have a good idea, if I'm going to leave it on a cliffhanger, what that cliffhanger is going to be. But not much. And like I say, when I sat down to plan Black Wedding, I've just had like 8 months off due to illness. And I didn't really know if I would get back into writing again, because it's that terror all over again of releasing. But I knew it was something I wanted to do, so I just kind of pushed myself. And it was hard, but I was originally just going to do a freestanding 60-70k book just to get me back into it, and then go off and, go back to Broken and things like that. And then Black Wedding it evolved, and I met the Doherty family and they just came out in spades. And so yeah, now I've planned, and I've got a plan for the series, but no, not each individual chapter. I'm still pantsing that.
Okay, so have you got any advice for new writers or editors?
New writers, I would say, number one, you gotta find your tribe. You gotta find a bunch of girls who will pick you up when you get those shitty reviews. And it happens all the time. It's so disheartening for anybody to get a 1 or 2 or even just a 3-star review, because you've poured your heart into that book, but they're always going to come. You can't please everybody. And so having the girls there when you get the reviews, or even while you're writing, just to say, you've got this, you can do this. They are immense. And I have some amazing, amazing girls in my tribe who push me and keep me going. And they're the reason that I got Black Wedding published in the first place. Because I was getting to the point where I was thinking, I can't do this, but they push you along. So yeah, you need a tribe, and you need a good editor. You need a good cover designer. I know it's money, but it does sell. I mean, I know myself as a reader, when I'm looking through Amazon, the first thing that draws me is a cover, but it's got to be well written, because if not, it will turn me off instantly and I won't keep reading. So yeah, you gotta, and plus when you will get better as a writer. I know anybody does. Their first book will always be their weaker one, and you might go back, you might re-edit it, but if you spend money to start with on a good editor, they'll make your book better anyway, and then you'll slowly catch up. Advice for new editors is a little bit different, because you've just got to know where your confidence is. So are you more confident at developmental editing, so looking at content? Are you more confident at copy editing or proofreading? What is it that you're good at? And you just kind of got to market yourself to that. You know, build up them reviews, offer to work with people for free or reduced price for a little bit, build up that client base, and you know, that will take you so far. If people know that you're good, they know that you're reliable, then that's great. But don't undersell yourself, and don't promise timeframes that you can't deliver. You know, I've heard of editors saying that they can edit 100,000 words in a day, and you know, that's great if you can do that, but don't promise that unless you can. I know for me that'd be impossible, because I just can't focus for that long. So know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and just go out there and build up those reviews.
Very nice. So, what is your favourite character that you've written?
Oh, I love all of my characters, but
Come on, narrow it down.
Come
on.
You're like trying to make me choose between, if I have children, which one's my favourite. I'm always going to be a sucker for the psychopaths. So I actually really like Piper. She's absolutely batshit crazy, but I loved her. She, I mean, she wasn't as well received as some of my other books, so she might never get that sequel, unfortunately. Because you've got to go with what readers want, so she might never see the finish of her book. But for me personally, I thought she was absolute hilarity to write. She's off her rocker, but with good reasons. And that's what I kind of try and do with all my characters. They're all flawed, all massively got problems, broken, but they have reasons for it. And you know, you can't. I want you to kind of think, well, does their reasons justify their actions? And you know, everybody will have a different answer to that. So yeah, it's difficult, but I like my psychopaths, so I quite like Desmond as well. So yeah.
Okay, and who was the hardest character to write?
Hardest character? At the moment, I would say I'm struggling most with Ava, from Broken, simply because I spent the entire book throughout Broken breaking her. So she started off as this confident, super amazing woman, and I've just spent all this time breaking her, and now I'm trying to build her back up, and it's very, very hard. So she is proving very, very difficult to write at the moment, but I will get there, and it will be worth it in the end.
Okay, so apart from myself on this one, any real life inspirations? Like obviously I'm top of the list.
You're my Liam. Yeah, no. Real life inspiration, like I say, I put a little bit of everybody in all my books, so there's little bits in everybody. Yeah. Yeah, there's no like one person that I can say that, you know, that's exactly them, but it's just like little characteristics, little traits in everybody.
I've noticed that from reading some of your stuff. I'm like, that sounds like that person.
Yeah.
So
It's not exactly them, but there's little bits. So my best friend, Deborah, she's been my friend since I was like 5 years old, and I'll put a little bit of her personality into one character, or there's even little bits of my mum in certain characters, and yeah, it's just like little homages to them, I guess.
okay, well, this one's kind of about me, but what puppy is Mr. Luna getting you, Or did he finally decide on something shiny instead? I wonder what this could mean, Emma.
I'm guessing this is from Sam. So Sam, my amazing, amazing PA, who I couldn't do any of this without. She hears me moan, and I talk constantly about the fact that me and Jamie, we've been together for well over 8 years now. And for the last, I would say probably 4, maybe even 5, I have been pestering him either to get engaged or to get a dog.
First I'm hearing about it.
Don't even start that, right? So I have been pestering him for that for so long. And I have got neither a dog or an engagement ring. But maybe with enough pestering, he will get on it. So I will keep you informed. I hope one day to have my own big black wedding, but we'll see.
Well, I could get you a phone because it can ring and it can become engaged.
No, that's a terrible joke, and I don't want that.
Oh, okay. I thought it was pretty clever.
Diamonds.
I like the phone better. Okay. Favourite place to read and write?
Read. Curled up on the sofa, definitely. With a blanket. Or even in bed. You will not believe the amount of times that Jamie has found me in the morning, woke up with the Kindle plastered to my face, my glasses still on.
Only on one eye though.
Yeah, I want like that with the Kindle in my eye. Yeah, I fall asleep reading all the time. Writing, I have a little desk in my room, in our bedroom. Jamie's got his own office because he got the office first, and then I set mine up afterwards. So we're in a different room. Because, God, we can't work in the same room. So, yeah, mine's in our bedroom. And I've got an amazing desk chair or a massive, massive monitor. And I just sit there and write. Yeah.
Lovely. So, where do you find your character inspiration?
In my head. Literally, they just come to me.
And the world just populates in your head.
Yeah, the world it's a crazy place. God knows if somebody actually stepped in what they'd find. But yeah,
this is why you're always writing, isn't it?
Yeah, this is why I'm just writing. I'll just be sat there like talking about something, and then I'll get the notebook out, and there's another idea jotted down. Yeah, they're just there, and you would not believe the amount of times I woke up in the middle of the night and gone, "Oh my God, that's a great idea!" And that's why I keep a notebook like next to my bed. I've planned so many books that way. Yeah. So they're literally. I don't know if there's anything that particularly draws inspiration from. They're just there.
Right.
Psychiatrists probably have a name for it, but I just call it creativity.
We'll go with that.
We'll call it that for now.
Oh, I think I know the answer to this next one, but let's see if I'm correct. Which of your characters do you dislike the most?
Oh, Grant.
Yes, that's what I thought you were going to say. Yeah.
Grant. In Broken. I always meant for him to be the bad guy, but the more I started writing him, the more I realised that he had more to him. There was a reason why he was a bad guy, and I know one of the things that I'm struggling with at the moment is, do I redeem him or do I not? You know, does he get to come back from all the bad shit that he's done? Does he get to have his happy ending after everything that he's done? You know, he's got a reason. He's, you know, if you've read Broken, you know why he's like the way he is. You know, does that justify it? And I know a lot of people will stand here and say, no, absolutely not. He does not deserve his happy ever after. And then there'll be some people who say, you know, surely everybody deserves a second chance. So I've got an idea, and I think I know where it's going to go. But I know that I've really struggled with, because it's kind of warring with me. But yeah, I've always hated him, and I don't think, even if he does get his happy ending, I will still hate him. Yeah.
So that's pretty much the end of the questions, but I'll throw one out there. What books are you going to release shortly?
Okay, so obviously I've got Retribution that I'm writing. I can't promise that that'll be the next book, but it is started and it is well on the way. So I think you'll be able to get a pre-order for that very soon. There's Trust in Me, which is coming out. I set the pre-order way in advance because Amazon are okay for you to keep moving it forward as many times as you want, but you can only move it back once.
Yeah,
and I hate letting you guys down. So I would rather set it way into the future and move it back, and move it to where I need it, rather than have to delay it, or even worse, kind of cancel it and lose my pre-orders. That's not my intention. So I'm hoping Trust in Me will probably be the next one. But I am also writing the story that will release in Once Upon a Broken Crown. So it's an anthology where we're twisting fairy tales. And that's actually going to be a ongoing theme with me. So I'm going to be releasing a set of, this is an exclusive bit of information. So I'm going to be releasing a set of series. I'm thinking they're probably going to be called something like the Twisted Tales collection. And I'm going to be twisting fairy tales. And as a bit of an exclusive again, I can tell you that the fairy tale that I'm going to be twisting in Once Upon a Broken Crown is Little Red Riding Hood. So I hope you enjoy that one, and I have a couple more fairy tales planned for next year as well. It's basically just me bringing fairy tales that I grew up with and that I loved, and twisting them to the point that they're dark and disturbed. Bit like me. But yeah, I've got an amazing nephew who is the light of my life, and he came home from school the other day, and he said he loves the fact that I'm an author. I don't tell him any of the stuff I write, but he came home from school the other day, and he said, you said you were going to rewrite Little Red Riding Hood. He said, well, at school we had to write a fairy tale. He said, so I wrote my own version like you. Do you think it's good? And literally, bless him, he's going to be 7 next week. And I read it and I was like in tears. It was so good. So hopefully we've got another little budding author coming along. Or that's only if he doesn't get his letter to Hogwarts, obviously. But
of course, yeah.
But yeah. So they're what I'm working on at the moment, and I have lots, and I'm talking probably more than I anticipated, of its secret projects planned for next year, and I can't wait to be able to tell you all about them. So thank you again for all your support. Keep tuned, because I'm going to be posting a video where I read the prologue for Black Wedding, because I finally got the paperback and it looks amazing. So if you've listened for this long, thank you. If you're bored, I apologise greatly. But it was a nice introduction to me and Mr. Luna. And we're hoping that we're going to do a few more of these Q&As. I'll just randomly throw the posts out there. Ask me anything you want. But it was nice to talk to you all. So thank you.
Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye.